Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, evening. So, go to the Chinle Sadhana. This Chinle Sadhana, daily practice of the exerted Avalokeshwara. And page 3. Yeah. All mother sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those clear obstacles of my path to liberation and all knowingness, may they experience happiness, be separate from suffering. I will quickly establish them in the state of Sattva's most perfect and precious Buddhahood. The Lord, thus until I achieve enlightenment, I perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and mind. Until death, I perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and mind. In the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha, most excellent. I take refuge until enlightenment reach. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I take Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. Sanje Judan Sojen Jonan Lai Sanjo Barde Dane Jabsenje Dage Jenso Jebe Sonanje Drola Benzer Sanje Drabaishu Sanje Judan Sojen Jonan Lai Sanjo Barde Dane Jabsenje Dage Jinso Jibe Sonamje Drola Benzer Sanje Drabaishu. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separate from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. Manangka Nyame Sengye Nam Dewa Dan Deve Jadan Demar Juje Dumar Dan Dumar Jeje Tawa Juje Dumar Nebe Dewa Dan Rawa Juje Nyere Jadan Yeda Jar Danyo Dan Eba Juje Manangka Dan Nyame Sengye Dewa Dan Deve Jadan Demar Juje Dumar Dan Dumar Jadan Jawa Juje Dumar Nebe Dewa Dan Rawa Juje Nyere Jadan Yedan Danyo La Neva Juje. I beseech the great Vajradhara, Telopa, Naropa, Marpa, Malarepa, Gambopa, Pamotropa, Lord Jikin Songo, at the feet of the root guru who possesses the three ways of kindness, and all root guru, spiritual master of the lineage, the yadams and the dharma protectors, may your marvelous blessings permeate my mind. Dorje Jawa Delo Naro Dama Dago Bate Jedem Raje Sunde Zave Lame Shataye Lama Yedan Chizong La Sowa Dezo Laju Zinje Lo Namo the name prayer daily practice of the excerpted Avalokiteshvara. Namo to the Guru, the three jewels, the Yadam deities, and the Dharma protectors, and others go for refuge until like demons, to liberate all beings from samsara, ocean of suffering. I will make effort in the generation stage, completion stage, and mantra recitation of the Supreme Aya Avalokiteshvara. Namo Lama Joson Yedan Jizong La Sanjo Varde Dajin Kyabzen Je Drogen Korwa Dunga Yamzo Le Droze Panjo Jizo Dezo Za Zoba Ije Sarva Dhamma Zoba Ije From the state of emptiness, my own consciousness appears as white shirt. It transforms into myself as Aya Avalokiteshvara, with one face, four arms, and two legs sitting in the Vajra posture. Avalokiteshvara's body is brilliantly white and smelling peacefully with an expression of compassion. The palm of the two lower hands are joined at the heart center, and the two upper hands hold a crystal mala and a white lotus flower, wherein second jewel are adorned with the major and minor mark. Seated among this seat, there is a white Om, red R, and a blue Hom at my three places. Like from this and invite the wisdom deity and empowerment deities who arrive in the space in front. 39. O Nye Mane Rare Regargo Yon Yanye Boboy Chirese Shaje Saye Janye Doje Yo Gondo Ganze Yenzon Yin Yin Yang Ambo Zanye Anye Shen Ma Garbona Tardai Renjen Zembe Yen Den Yo Dave Den Yo Nezon Ahon Kamar Den Le Ode Yesheva Wala Jego Lenga Yo To all who are worthy of praise, are born with us many bodies, as particularly in the land, and continuously make praise with the highest faith. The Samaya deity and the wisdom deity melt together indivisible. The empowerment deity bestowed the empowerment, the water from the wells first in my body, and the accumulated defilements are purified. The remaining water flows out from the crown of my head and become a cell of Amitabha. Then the empowerment deity also melted into me. Go back to Tibetan. So 学来今觉类，觉我无心觉道往来的，我本在二个八定比比地比阿罗根根的，因为的晓得着的在于Your white body is unstained by force. A perfect Buddha adorned your head. Your gaze upon beings with a compassionate eyes. Homage and praise to Avalokiteshvara. In my heart center is a mongoose on which is a white shirt, surrounded by the mantra garland of 6 syllables, white and brilliant, and circle clockwise and measurable like rays stem forth, and provide all the realms of the gods, the demigods, the humans, and animals, hungry spirit, and hell beings. Please purify all the suffering and obscurations and transform them into Avalokiteshvara, appearing vividly where you're chanting the mantra. Again, the lights stream out and make offering to the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas, gathering their compassionate blessing in the form of 5-colored light and nectar, which melt into me. Om Mani Padme 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 Om Mani chant the mantra silently, mentally, and I'm going to share a short teaching. So we go through this Chindrasik sadhana. Yesterday I shared with you mostly the sadhana generation stage section. So today I'm going to share more about in this mantra section. So mantra, when we practice this Chindrasik, so we visualize the lotus flower and the top of the lotus flower, first syllable in the center, and then Chindrasik mantra is rotating clockwise. So there's then mantra like that is go to offering enlightened beings. Also receive a blessing from the enlightened beings. And then mantra like that is go to 6 rounds. Each round we can visualize and meditate. So you can meditate, mantra clockwise rotating with the like that is thinking about all the heaven beings. So heaven beings extremely suffering, heat and cold is tortured due to the anger coming and strength. So during right now in the lifetime, we humming for other beings create through the anger, so that perception is heaven beings. And we meditate, chant the mantra, like that is mantra go to heaven beings. So the mantra is called purification, purifying the heaven beings suffering, causes of suffering, and the mantra is liberation, so liberating all the heaven beings. We can meditate that when we chant the mantra, Om Mani Padme Hum, focus for the heaven, and visualize, Chinreze. So the visualize is yesterday I already talked. We can visualize ourselves as Chinreze, it's called self-visualization. And also we can visualize the Chinreze in the front of us, called front generation. And then, we visualize ourselves, Chinreze, heart center, mantra rotating clockwise, like that is go to heavens. Then that time we have to think about the heaven suffering. So we thinking about the heaven suffering, we have to create some, kind of feelings, recognize the heaven's suffering, and then chant mantra is arising our mind, compassion to the heavens. So compassion can connect to the heaven beings, liberating heaven beings. Compassion is a connection, and the mantra is the purification. Then we meditate, visualize hungry ghost. So hungry ghost suffering is extremely hunger and thirsty. And thinking about this all suffering, create very strong feelings. So we also know, when we get hungry and thirsty, which kind of experience we have. So the experience comparing to hungry ghosts is our, we don't eat food, no drink, maybe 1 day, 2 days, fasting. But comparing that is hungry ghost is 1,000 times more, hunger and thirsting than that. So that's why we use our own experience, create, some this feeling, and recognize that, and then thinking about this hungry ghost, arise compassion to them. So then chant mantra. So compassion connect to the hungry ghost. Mantra is remove the obstacles, hungry ghost, liberating. And then we also think about the mantra chanting. When we chant the mantra and animal rounds. So animal round is extremely, the scared and nervous, because animal, due to ignorance, they create all the time negative karma, and then they eat each other all the time. So they has all the time fears, try to survive, and so we recognize their suffering, and then create a love, compassion to animal around, chant the mantra. So then that mantra is a very powerful, liberating animal rounds. And that practice actually remove our heaven negative karma, remove our hungry ghost negative karma, we purify also animal negative karma. So, we thinking about this lower realms and create our love compassion to them. So the love compassion arise within our mind, then that purify all this lower and negative karma. And at the same time also power of the compassion, power of mantra, power of blessing from Chinreze, so power of all the Sangha, together, the practicing together, that benefit for these lower beings. So that's what reason, another way Buddhist teaching is interdependent. We individual, one person, no ability to purify our negative karma and no power to benefit others. So that's the reason we bring this together, power of a Buddha's blessing. That's why we visualize it generously. Power of a mantra, so we chant the mantra, and the power of a Sangha. So, Sangha, the community together, practice together. And then power of compassion, when we chant this practice, we create a compassion for these lower beings. So all this combination, so everything comes together, it's called interdependent, connected to each other, right? So that power of that, we can liberate all these lower beings, help them, and also purify our negative karma. So then this mana mantra is not only this lower and purification. So then of course we think about like human beings due to our desire and create all the time negative karma due to attachment. So this mana mantra purify human beings desire negative karma. Then mantra also purify jealousy negative karma, jealousy God's negative karma. Mantra purify pride negative karma, God's negative karma. So this mantra is a purification, 6 different afflictive emotions, negative karma is removing, purifying. So we have individually we have 6 different kind of afflictive emotions. So this 6 afflictive emotion projecting 6 rounds. 6 round is arising or like perception is a six negative afflictive emotions. So that's why harem is anger perception, anger projected harems, and stingy projected the hungry ghost, self-grasping, stingy. Ignorance projecting animal realms, and attachment projecting human beings, jealousy projecting jealousy gods, the pride is projecting God's realms. So this 6 realm is auto level, of course, in the different realms, beings have a perception, take rebirth to that 6 realms. Actually, this 6 realm is within our body and mentally we have every single day. So when anger arising strongly in your mind, so that moment we are harems, and we are harem beings. And when so strong selfish, self-grasping, stingy arising in your mind, that moment we are hungry ghost. Then ignorance, not knowing the cause and the effect, create a negative karma. So that moment we are in the animal realm. So when attachment arising, so that moment we are human being, and jealousy arise, that moment we are jealousy gods. And when pride arises in our mental, so that moment we are the God's realm. So within 6 realm is actually, different levels. Auto level 6 realm is the mention about 6 different realms. So create negative karma that can take birth to in that realm. So that being has that perception, until the karma is purified. And then innerly, when we have these afflictive emotions, so this afflictive emotion control us. When strong arise in afflictive emotion within our mind, that moment we are belong to that realm. So that's why this mana mantra is purification, is purify 6 realms, negative karma. So that's the reason 6 syllables. So Om is purification, God's realm. Ma is purification, jealousy gods. Na is purification, human beings. Pe is purification animals. Me is purification hungry gods. Home is purification heaven beings. So this six syllable is purification, 6 rounds, negative karma, and liberating 6 rounds. So that's this mantra. Another explain this mantra on Mani Padme Hum means. So we are actually Buddha. So they talk about all beings Buddha. But we have a body obstacle, we have a speech obstacle, we have a mind obstacle. We don't recognize, we are Buddha due to these obstacles. So we have actually basic grown, Buddha cause is there, but our due to obstacles we don't recognize. So that's the reason last couple of weeks I shared the generation stage. This Vajrayana teaching is followed by ground, path, and result. Okay, so ground, every single being is Buddha, but every single being has obstacles. That's the reason, we need a path. Path is this practice. So Mani Mantra is also purification, is path. And the result is we purify already negative karma, so it's called result. When we enlightened, so then we reach enlightenment, it's called result. So now, Om is, representative ground. That means like we have enlightened body, speech, and mind, but it is have an obstacle or is body, speech, mind has obstacles. Then we have to purify the body, speech, mind obstacle. So even we have a enlightened body, enlightened speech, enlightened mind, but due to obstacles, it's become ordinary. So now using this mantra is purification. Mana is wish fulfilling giver. So what is wish fulfilling giver? Love, compassion is wish fulfilling giver, bodhicitta. So mana is representative love, compassion, bodhicitta. Mana means wish fulfilling giver. So that's the reason Chinese hold the, in the heart center, wish fulfilling giver is his heart. And then Peme is wisdom. So that's the reason Chinese hold another hand, lotus flower representative wisdom. So wisdom, compassion comes together. It's called method and wisdom. Method, wisdom is a path. Use this method and wisdom practice, then get a result. Result is enlightenment. So that's the reason this Mani Mantra is purification, representative, bodhicitta, and wisdom together. Wisdom, bodhicitta comes together, we can purify all body, speech, mind, negative karma. We have become, inseparable with the enlightened beings. So that is a shi. Shi means like inseparable, become joined together, reuniting together. Enlightened beings and our this ordinary mind is become reuniting together, inseparable. So that's called Mani Mantra, representative. So example I can give you like maybe better. If you have the simple example, the cup is dirty, right? So cup is extremely dirty, but that cup is maybe golden cup, something very treasure cup, special, like valued, very important cup, but it's extremely dirty. So that cup is same as like Om means you have that, but then if you don't wash the cup, you cannot use because cup has a defilement, maybe poison. Yeah, so we need to clean that cup. So what we need water, we need soap, special soap or water clean, right? Soap is representative, same as like compassion method. The water is the same as wisdom, yeah? So then you clean that cup, use the water and the soap, okay? That cup is a treasure, okay? It's expensive treasure object. So now you can use. But that cup is the same cup, didn't change. When the dirty and it become clean, it's the same cup, okay? But when the dirty come, we cannot use. If you use, maybe you get poison because defilement, and you get sick if you use it using cup. Then that's the reason we have to clean. Use the water and the soap, clean the cup. So that's the same as this man, ne, peme. Mane is love, compassion, bodhicitta. It's called method. Then peme is wisdom, so that is the soap and water cleaned. Then home is become, your cup is already clean. So then you can use. So that's the, example, same, the Om Mani Padme Hum mantra. Meaning is, we have, but this treasure, enlightening body speech is like dirty, actually, defilements due to our emotions. So now we have to purify that, our afflictive emotion using this mantra. Practice, love, compassion, and wisdom. Another way to explain this mantra is called 6 syllables, is representative 6 perfections. So what means 6 perfection? Generosity, morality, patience. So then joyful effort and wisdom, meditation. So that's 6 parameter. This 6 syllables representative is 6 perfections too. 6 perfections also subsumed to method and compassion, method and wisdom too. These two is generosity, morality, patience is method. Wisdom, meditation is a part of wisdom, and then joyful efforts are both. So that's we have to know this mantra, and now I'm going to share here, followed by yesterday teaching. Let me explain here. So this page 112, the bottom of the paragraph, it says, it is the skillful means of mantrayana, means like this practice today is a mantrayana. Yeah, it's called generation stage, mantrayana. So that dispel impure precepts. We're using this meditation practice, generation stage, practice yadam, that is purify impure perceptions, impure precepts. So this is why the development stage practice is also known as a skillful means practice. So that's the reason it's called skillful method. Skillful method means we have these all impure perceptions. These all impure perceptions we don't have to get rid of. So impure perception we have to transform. Yeah, that practice is called this yadam deity, generation stage. Vajrayana tradition is. And so I already share with you example, like a treasure dirty cup. The treasure dirty cup you don't have to get rid of. If you throw that, then you don't have a treasure cup. Is you lost. So we don't have to get rid of our this actually impure perceptions. It's our negative emotion is we don't have to get rid of it. So impure perception, negative emotion, we have to transform. So that practice is called the generation stage. Vajrayana practice means. This is what we mean when we say that in the path of sacred Mahayana, we did not reject the concept or emotional poisons. If you reject negative emotion, then you don't have wisdom. Okay? So what I say, example, you reject your cup, not going to wash, you throw away, you don't have a special object become, you lost already. Same, like we get rid of our emotion, so it's okay, basic level, we have to stop our emotions, we have to get rid of our emotion and impure perceptions. So that basic level state is great. But comparing to Vajrayana practice, you rejecting thoughts, emotions, same as you rejecting source of, wisdom. So then you rejecting the causes of the enlightenment. So that's the reason negative emotion, the thoughts, we don't need to reject, we have to take on to the path. So how to take path? Then this practice, when thoughts arise, so you visualize the Chinreze, and chant the mantras. So thoughts, emotion arising, you use that thoughts, emotion, create, love and compassion. So that's a practice helps transforming. Then make sure you understand this does not mean you just indulge in your mundane concept and poisons. So the point is, with no accepting, negative emotion. Accepting means you not using negative emotions. You transforming negative emotions. If we don't transform negative emotion, then negative emotions, negative emotion. So then better we get that out. Yeah. So if we have ability, using this Vajrayana practice, transform, then that means not negative emotion. It is causes of wisdom become. So that's this main point. So now I'm going to share with you is a mantra in this book. Next, there is the yoga of recitation. Yoga recitation means mantra, we chanting the mantra. In aspect of enlightening speech. So chanting mantras, we create enlightening speech. We visualize Yadam form body, we create enlightenment form body. We meditate, create love and kindness, and then go more deeper levels, your mind go into the natural non-door states. It's create enlightenment mind. So the chanting is most important, is chanting, mantra chanting is a purification for, negative speech, karma, and transforming. When we recite mantra and prayers, we are purifying our grasping at ordinary mundane speech and all habitual imprints associated with this. So all the time we create this mundane precepts speech. We all the time talk about worldly things, right? And so that create coming imprints, samsara, mundane precepts. Then the mantra or recitation we are repeating again and again is the agent of purification. So chanting again mantra, that's is the agent of purification. So we purify more, close and close. So that's why you have to wash something, like one ranking cannot wash your dirty clothes. So we know, so we put in the washing machine your dirty clothes, and there's so much like, ranking like hours, right? 1 hour or sometimes 2 hours, like longest have to do. So same, we purify our this mundane speech, negative karma. We have to chant again and again. We have to create very strong karmic imprints, connections. By repeating the mantra, we are creating the interdependent to awaken to the reserved enlightened speech. So we awaken the enlightenment speech. Through enlightened speech activities, we will be able to fulfill the purpose of sentient beings. So we purify our, speech negative karma, and we create our enlightened speech, and then through that can benefit many other beings. A specific reason for or benefit of reciting mantra is that we are calling, summoning the wisdom deity to us. Just as when we call someone by name, they naturally will come closer to us. So mantra is calling the person's name, We're calling the Chinrezig. Chinrezig is embodiment of enlightened beings' compassion. So we're calling, actually, auto level calling Chinrezig is the same as child has danger and big problems calling the parents, right? So same, we're calling the enlightened beings, ask to help, please rescue me from samsara. And inner level, actually, we calling our own enlightened qualities, So inner level Chenrezig is our own compassion and wisdom, because Mana Mantra is representing, compassion and wisdom, right? And we have to recalling our own compassion and wisdom. So we try more beginning again and again, power, create more powerful. So that's the mantra is like same as the calling the name, means like become very close to your enlightened beings, connecting more close and close. So if you go to somewhere and each step you go close to your destination, right? Same, we chant mantra is become our body, speech, mind close to the enlightened beings. And outer level close to the enlightened being, connect to that. Inner level, generate your love and wisdom. So that's the mantra meaning. Then, so we just as we will someone named naturally will come close to us. Wisdom, Sanskrit is in jnana. So wisdom is English, in jnana means Sanskrit. They refer to knowing that the deity has always abided within us primordially sattva. Okay, so here, so we usually talk about the Yadam deity, right? Yadam deity means being with us always. The absolute truth, Yadam is our original, mind, like for unmodified, the mind is like unbeginningless time until now we have, never separate. So that is called Yadam. Actually, Yadam means we know knowing that. So this mantra is more connect to our really own true nature, more close to our own true nature. So that's why here says, see, wisdom is Sanskrit as jnana. Here refers to knowing that the deity has always abide, means like the Yadam deity is always abide with us. So the point is our nature mind is Yadam deity. Within us primordially, so primordially we have sattva or courageous being. Here refers to one who is devoid of the wrong view of dualistic grasping. So samadhi refers to mind's single-pointed intention without wavering. So then this pro-modern nature mind is, devoid of a wrong view of dualistic grasping. So, that's actually, we sometimes we recognize when we meditate, So you let go all these negative concepts, right? Your mind is going into your own nature, free from subject and object. So my nature is not deluded, So nature, when you meditate, your mind can go into your own nature. That nature is free from concepts. So no duality, no draw, and free from this our delusion. So when you get into that no draw, is that nature state. So that is called actually in the Yadam deity. So that's why here says here refers to one who is devoid of the wrong view of dualistic grasping. Samadhi refer to mind's single-pointed intention without wavering. So mind is into that nature state, not followed by conceptual thoughts. Your mind just naturally into your nature ripa, states. And that moment you recognize all this, dualistic concepts is dissolved into the nature ripa. So that is called the absolute truth, Yadam deity. That is called Yadam. So in this teaching, followed by ultra level Yadam deity, so we visualize the Chenrezig, right? And that's another level. Second is called inner level practice. We visualize ourselves as Chenrezig. So our impure chakras, impure wing, nada, drops, all impure is transforming to the pure, we create a pure percepts. So that is called inner practice. Second level practice is knowing this true Yadam. The true Yadam is within us pro-modally, never separate with us, always be there. But due to our dualistic conceptual, we don't recognize. Because 24 hours we deluded, mind is deluded all the time, followed by conceptual thoughts. And when you meditate using this secret level practice, in this teaching, Yadam deity has always mentioned about this secret level. So it is Mahamudra. Using this practice, you let go all these concepts. Your mind is being each moment moments into the natural states. That moment we recognize our own Yadam deity. So after fully accomplishment, knowing our own absolute true sacred own Yadam deity, we have to rely on ultra level Yadam deity. So that's the reason we have to practice in the ultra level Yadam deities. Sometimes, this teaching, people get misunderstand. Okay, I have this absolute truth, sacred level Yadam deity. I don't need to practice then Chenrezig and the Manjushri, these ultra levels. Why I have to do this practice? So that's the misunderstand. We have the pro-model absolute truth, the Yadam deity. We know knowing that we don't know because due to our obstacles. Until fully realize our own pro-model Yadam deity, we have to rely, until that we rely on the ultra level Yadam deities. So that's the reason we have to chant mantra. That's the reason we have to visualize the Yadam deity. That's the reason we have to meditate. So otherwise, everything's become useless. If we don't have absolute true original Yadam deity within us, then why we have to practice, So become logically another way. Why we have to practice? Because we have this original pro-model Yadam deity. That's the reason we have to chant mantra. That's the reason we have to practice Chenrezig. That's the reason we have to, meditate, right? Not not other way, like we have that, why we have to do this? That's incorrect. So then approach level mantra accumulation. Then this accumulation mantra followed by 4 different levels. So here mention about one by one. First is called Tibetan said Nyingpa. Okay, as we are discussing here means bring the wisdom deity close to your own mind stream. Nyingpa means like calling the name. You create like become a friend and connections. So Nyingpa means like basic level. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. You chant that, you become connect to the Chinreze, more close to the Chinreze. That's called Nyingpa. So bring the wisdom deity close to your own mind stream. See, Yadam deity is close to your mind stream. So we have the pro model on Yadam deity. Right now is we don't knowing that we have. So you chant the mantras, like you become less obstacles. You really fear something new. You knowing that you have something on your mind stream. So that's the Nyingpa, close to approach. Then Tibetan, another call is called Nyenhing. Nyenhing is referred to the merging of your mind with wisdom, mind. So become the wisdom being, ultra level wisdom being is bring into our mind streams more close connections. So that's called Nyenhing means Nyen means more close. Then third is called accomplishment. It's a Tibetan we call drupa. Drupa means like then you practice, you have your accomplishment. So it's called drupa. Refer to gaining mastery of the wisdom deity. Become you are merging inseparable with the Yadam deity. So your speech, your mind, your body is become inseparable connections. So that's called drupa. That's the reason, drupa means like have to follow by 5 days or 7 days. The reason is because the first couple of days is called Nyingpa, Nyenheng. Then you have to go up to, drupa means accomplishment. So that's the reason if someone really wanted to follow these different levels of mantra recitation and have to go to one week Ilis, retreat to practice. So then followed by these meditations, different levels. So generally we chant always Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. That's also good, but if followed by these stages, then you have to go to at least 7 days. So the first 5 days is followed by first 2 mantras. Then last 2 is this drupa and drupchin is more close one. Then fourth is called great accomplishments. It's Tibetan we call drupchin. It's this called the great accomplishment, drupchin. And then this practice also, drupa is, generally drupa means 7 days, but not we doing 24 hours. So drupchin means we have to follow by 24 hours. And when you're starting and until finish, cannot stop. Okay, so that's the reason have to take sections, next sections. And 24 hours, 7 days have to follow drupchin. So that's called the great accomplishments. So then drupchin refers to the accomplishment of the four enlightening activities. So then this why we have these 4 different levels of mantra have to chant, because it's 4 activities. So pacifying and increasing, magnetizing, and wrathful. So these 4 activities, accomplishments. When you are enlightened, you have 4 activities. Enlightened being not only one activity, right? Enlightened being means 4 activity has. So you are become president, then you have many powers, So you have power for all the cabinets. So same, like long as you are enlightened, so you have all these 4 activities benefit others. That pro model accomplish the benefit of others. It is not always the case that all 4 of this stage of mantra accumulation will be included in a single practice text. So not always that way follow, because today we chanting this Chinese sadhana, we practicing using, but we don't have to follow these 4 different levels, just bring all together. Yeah, the sadhana is very short. So short sadhana, we don't have these 4 sections separate. And short sadhana, when we use like daily practice, always just one mantra, and you thinking about the 4 of them together, So that's the reason. Another way, when you hold the mala, and you have to hold the top of these 4 fingers, mala, because the reason is like these 4 activities. You accomplish 4 activities. And another way, when you chant the mantra, so you have to put in this letter finger top the mala, and beads falling to the other way, not in or go in, so out. And this finger representing 4 different activities. Some meditator practitioners specifically go to the retreat, yeah, and then they chant the mantra followed by 4 activities. So then the move to like each finger has different representatives. And in this, our case, today we practice Chinese, we using one mantra is 4 activities together. So that's why generally people chant mala is top of the 4 fingers. Then this thumb holding the mala in. So actually, rather for prayer, the mantra, mala cannot bring like this way, it's falling out. So it's like many different, tradition, these structures follow. But that is only for, for monastery, and someone go to the retreat, so they have to do that way. But our case, we don't need to think about that, just use mala in the top of the 4 finger and the chanting, and then followed by this according to each sadhana instructions. So that's the most important. Then when as you recite the syllable of the mantra in ongoing home, feel that all the deities are chanting the mantra in these red-known songs. So then when you chant the mantra, like the song is like, have to follow. Same is like, follow airplane engine, like you stay there, it's like you hear the never stop, right? So thunders or like that, we have to chant the mantra. So that's what here says, ongoing home felt that all the deities are chanting the mantra in these continuous forms. Then we visualize all the form is a Yadam deity. So you feel every object, chanting mantra. That's we can visualize, meditate. Sometimes like this point is when you have a lot of thoughts going on, this way is not possible. When you meditate, your mind is more relaxed. It's really calm. And, when you close eye, you can visualize this, form is a Chinese form. Then that time you chant then whatever you hear the songs, birds, nature songs, or airplane songs, whatever hear songs, you can bring all these songs as a mantra song. So then you really feel this, what I hear talking about, sharing this instruction. That time you get some, your own, kind of experience. And then that moment you recognize, Om Mani Padme, Om Mani Padme, your mind follow the thoughts, not that much power. And your mind is really into that, samadhi, and visualize the children, you recognize all songs, mantra, and as long as you can bring that feeling into your mind, then you recognize the power of mantra. So until that, conceptual thoughts, chanting mantra, it creates some karmic imprint, good karma, but not really create enlightenment. You understand? So we're removing some negative karma and create some good connections, but you're not really taking to enlightenment, transforming. So that's why all these impure precepts, everything is transformed means when we chant the mantra, have to feel all the songs is a mantra. And then that moment your body also, like you feel is a Chinese body. And then that moment, you really feel all your wing channel chakras is waking. That's not always we have first experience, but you go more deep, meditate, and free from all concepts. Very strong connect to visualize, change the form, and then all these songs you can transform. So that's we have to create that connection. And the universal and all beings within, even the trees and the forest, one of the nature of the deity and the deity's phenomena. So become then you recognize all these trees, object, plants, everything you feel is Yadam deity's form body. And then all this, like trees, when he to the trees, the tree making songs, right? The plants are making songs. All these songs you feel is become is Yadam deity's mantra. So that's the reason we have another practice called Vajrakalaya. So meditators recognize every object is Vajrakalaya form body. So every object has a shape, structural design is Vajrakalaya's. This we call purpa, Kalaya is the symbol of the object, auto level Kalaya. I think you understand what I'm talking, auto level Kalaya, the symbolized object. So all object has that shapes because every object has shape, and the bottom part is like training, and then like our ordinary body also has Vajrakalaya form body shapes. So that's the meditators recognize all the form is Yadam deity's form body. Long as you recognize that all form is Yadam deity, then all the song is a mantra. So that's the here sharing, right now here is talking about when even trees and forests are of the nature of a deity, the deity phenomena and that everywhere songs with the mantra sound. If you visualize in this way, the benefits and the power are greater. Then that is the highest level, power or benefit for the chanting the mantra. So just I already shared we going into in that level of the chanting mantra. First step, we have to at least meditate 20-40 minutes shamatha. Our mind is need really calm, relax, peaceful. And then you visualize the Chinese form body, and then you recognize all forms like effort to Chinese form, Yadam deity's form. In that moment, whatever you hear the song is become mantra. So then that time you don't have to chant Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, otherwise get distraction again. You're chanting mentally. mentally chant, and then you can bring all the song is a mantra. If we don't chant the mentally mantra, then our song also making become distraction too. So if you recite the mantra with a distracted, wandering mind, apart from the more benefit of eroding some of the obscuration of ordinary speech. See here already mentioned, like you chanting mantra with the conceptual thoughts is less benefit. So some of obscuration of ordinary speech purified, but you really cannot connect to the Yadam deity. So if eroding some of the obscuration of ordinary speech, you will not drive with great siddha accomplishments. So mantra are not going to take you to what mentioned about here benefits. So that's the reason, also we lost connections of mantra chanting, because when we chant the mantra, we follow all the time conceptual thoughts. We not really go into connect to the Yadam deity, connect to our enlightened body, speech, mind. So even we chanting mantra is enlightened speech, but our mind is follow the conceptual thoughts. So that's no create connection to enlightenment. Then that karmic imprint, due to that we lose mantras power, or kind of a test experience we don't get. If we don't get that, then people chant the mantra is tired, get not much benefit. So that is why it is important to recite the mantra in distracted state of single-pointed samadhi without wavering, keeping one's mind intention on the deity appearance, the mantra, mala, the rays of light emanating, or absorbing, and so forth. So this mantra light radiating, using, in this sadhana, this also not easy. You go to this light radiating, clockwise rotating mantra is also distraction. That's the reason, this when you're going to practice a Yadam deity, chant the mantra, actually shamatha meditation is required. Shamatha meditation really helps your mind calm and relax. And then that time you chant mantra, you can use this visualize, mode this, talk over the first syllable center, and then Om Mani Padme Hum clockwise, like that is. So long as your mind is stable, then you have an ability to do that. But your mind is not stable, it's all the time follow the thoughts. Then, you try to visualize and, emojis, these syllables, like that is become not stable and distracting again. So that is always, also individually have a difference. So that's the reason I think in the mantra when chanting has many choices, options. So you can choose which ones really benefit you. We have to follow that. When you recite the mantra, be instead single-pointed devoid and faith, rather than in a conceptual form of a mind that is trying to examine and analyze the mantra. So we see sometimes we have that created thoughts ourselves, because mantra, okay, Om is white color, then Ma is red color. Something you think about these colors also distracting. So we have a pause meditation. That time you can use this analytical. But when you are in the practice, meditation, So we have to let go. Doesn't matter color is white or red. Just whatever you can and follow that and meditate. You cannot, investigate in the mantras. Analytical uses become distraction. So this means not trying to okay. So then this means also not trying to reinterpret or translate into another language, the Dakinese script or mantra words. So Om Mani Padme Hum is not Tibetan words. Om Mani Padme Hum is Sanskrit. So Om Ah Hum Veda Guru is Sanskrit. All the mantra is Sanskrit. You cannot translation to the the specific another country language. The reason is because the mantra is here says is Dakinese scripture. If you translate, then lose the power of also the blessing. The when is Dakini come from language, first state, right? And we have to keep that that language. So you chant that, you connect more, and you create a karmic imprint to that. Another way, if you translation to own language, so the Dakini scripture, the mantra has so much meaning. If no other language can hold that meaning. So that's the reason also lose the meanings. That's why it's no translation to another country language. Another language is the Dakini script or mantra words, which would prevent the accomplishment of the Paranida, I think, great separation. So it's the mantra is come from the realizer enlightened beings. So they have their own blessing, power over their accomplishments. So we exactly chant when they say, when that term come from mantra, we have to chant that. Then that has a power of benefit or blessing. Then words of truth spoken by the master who codified that mantra is master who enlightened beings. Then the chant this mantra has come from. So that's why. Most often, the mantra that we recite as in invocation to the deity. So we inviting the mantra is also invitation, the Yadam deity, calling the deity by name to rouse the awakened heart, mind of the deity. Actually, for the wisdom deity, there is no difference between being called or not called. So the Yadam deity actually we call or not called, for them is nothing difference. Then hearing or not hearing, near or far. So the some is already enlightened. Yadam deity means enlightened. So we calling them, call, not calling, they are close or not close. That's all is our concept. For them is no difference, anything. However, when we recite the wisdom mantra, whose nature is Dharmakaya, the awakened speech of all the Buddhas, we gradually erode our obscurations until they are completely purified. So I mentioned about this, beginning when I shared teaching. So, we have that true promoter, Yadam deity. So until we fully realize that, we have to rely on the ultra level Yadam deity, calling the name, chanting mantras. then we gradually, enroll our obscuration until they are completely purified, until we purify our negative karma. The more our obscurations are removed, the closer we naturally feel to the resultant deity, and this is how the blessings of the wisdom deity enter into our mind stream. So become all these yadam deities into our mind stream, inseparable. And until that, we have to chant the mantra and practice. When you chant the mantra practice, you are close to your own true nature. At the dissolution, so that's the mantra section. We finish the mantra, okay? So due to the time, we don't have time lots to talk about this. So now it's a dissolution. At the dissolution stage of the practice, if you are doing on accomplishment practice, Tibetan is called drupa, and you have a visualization in front. So we visualize the front in, Yadam deity. Draw in the visualization to stabilize its wisdom presence in a support or representation if you have one. So we have like visualization Yadam deity, and if you have support like statue tankas, the main point is like if you have object of something special. If you do not have a visualization in front, simply invite the wisdom deity to dissolve into the expanse of Dharma Dharta, the basic space of phenomena. So this solution is followed by depending, different ways. You have to visualize the object, you have a Tanga statue, all this visualization, Yadam deity is called wisdom deity, is dissolved to, the special object. So then become your object is, we talk about blessing, you get more blessing, your objects become more treasure, more powerful. So if we don't have that object, special object, anything, then Yadam deity is just dissolve into the space. So here is this solution stage is not always the same. Long sadhana dissolutions, short sadhana dissolution, wrathful deity dissolution, peaceful Yadam deity dissolution, these dissolutions has a slightly different. But everything main point is the same, dissolution means everything have to dissolve into actually our own nature ripa. Because everything is arising from our own nature ripa. So now we have to, everything is dissolved into our own nature ripa. So that's the main essence of the dissolution. Long as you know that, then other dissolution, everything is part of the branching. So that's the reason, the dissolution stage is accomplishment. Accomplishment, when we dissolve, we have to go into nature ripa, samadhi, non-door states. So dissolution is generation stage, then dissolution is going into accomplishment state, accomplishment means we have to go into nature ripa. So then dissolution is also another way, the purifying our death karmic imprints. Okay, so when we visualize the Yadam deity stages, first stage or the visualization is purifying birth karmic imprints. Then you visualize the deity in the front of you or yourself, chanting mantra, all these prayers follow main practices, purification when we birth to enter death comes. So that's a purification. Dissolution is a purification for death, death dissolution means. So that's also we have to know, the practice of Yadam deity. Then, okay. Or the samadhi being dissolved into the self-visualization. So we visualize, like today example, Chinreza in front of us, all the retinues, all this other bodhisattvas, Buddhas dissolved to Chinreza form. So that's a Chinese form. Then Chinese form is dissolved to ourself. Yeah, Chinese form is dissolved to yourself. Your form is become light color. Light color. Sometimes like we have whiteboard, something like that, powerful lights, white light, and then that light is dissolved into the first syllable. First syllable bottom, then dissolving to the top, the nada, and disappear into emptiness. Then that means like we have to go back to in our own natural ripa, meditate. So that's this is sadhana dissolutions. So if you are only doing a self-visualization one's own inner wisdom, knowing never depart away. Visualize according to the dissolution stage of the practice text and dissolving the entire universe and all within the back into light. This dissolve into the immeasurable deity palace. The immeasurable deity palace gradually dissolve into outside and it is absorbed into the deities and the retinues. So this solution is longer way, long sadhana follow. We visualize the universe is dissolved to the palace. Palace is dissolved to the enlightenment form body. Enlightenment form body is dissolved to the seventh generation meditator, and then that's the follow this I think adiyas. The retinue deities dissolve into are absorbed into the center deity known to union. So the point is already just finished. Like the Yadam deity is when we visualize starting, we visualize the syllable. So when you dissolve to Yadam deity, or the deity is dissolved to become yourself, is dissolved to the syllable. Syllables become disappear and then go into the nature dharma dhartu. So that's the dissolution meditation state. So now we finish there the teaching today. So we finish all this generation stage teaching. Next way, this next Saturday, Sunday, don't have this, Saturday, Sunday teaching. So if you want to join sometimes through the maybe Facebook Live or something, I have another programs. So don't know exactly schedule. It's so many dependent others. So don't know or like rely on the times for others. So that's why we see what happening. Okay. Then after 2 weeks, after following week, I have to share you schedule another teaching. So then followed by the following weeks. Thank you. So we finish it there, and now we go to the mantra. Page 17. Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Page 17. It's a dissolution meditation, no? At the end of the session, visualize that the world and the beings dissolve. Then you have become light and dissolve into the truth, which in turn becomes free from reference point. Rest in this state as long as you can. And when a thought appears, think that you are going to become Arya Avalokiteshvara. Tibetan. Ten san no ju ran de ran ye jiang, o ju shi ten de yang ni ming ang, jian ne ya jian zhou wai ju ba na, lai ya ran ye ba ge ge ju san. We meditate here. By this virtue arising from the meditation, the recitation of Ayavalokeshwara, may all the negativity and obscurations in the mind stream of myself and all beings be purified, and may be broken the state with Ayavalokeshwara's body, speech, and mind. And the Dharam Bhagavad Konde Lezon Wege Wan Deye Tadan Jogen Yula Yoge De Jogen Zan Pagwe Kusan Todan Roje Jo. So now we go to Vajrasava mantra in the page 23. 24 English. Om Benzara Sato Samaya Manu Palaya Benzara Sato Tino Bhai Tandro Me Bhava Supe Kayo Me Bhava Supe Kayo Me Bhava Anerato Me Bhava Sarvai Siddhe Mindrayansa Sarvai Karma Siddhai Me Siddhai Shayan Kuru Hong Ha-ho Bhagave Sarva Tadai Gata Benzara Mame Benzara Dhamma Samaya Sato. Page 25. So we're going to do the Tibetan, and if you wanted to follow English, so you can chant English and also Chinese too. So we can finish the same time together also. Namo Guru Deva Drakeneye Tisam Deva Rishika Jije Guru Senje Namo Jireze Nanga Tove Jabe Joje Sha Leje Oba Melai Sansalo Om Mani Padme Hum Tenpa Nyame Tawai Jaje Toi Suje Gyarwai Gyamzoi Sedan Je Paje Lama Namje Churin Le Nyingbo Yege Chongme Yongwai Jo Om Mani Padme Hum Mepe Sanje Namje Gonzo Om Sanje Namje Tozadan Akar Yoba Namje Shabdende Nyembo Yege Chongme Yongwai Sho Om Mani Padme Hum Legendary Bamai Bobon Dai Generation Devana Gombo Jere Zeke Lanaro Deva Jende Kevar Sindhyo Om Mani Padme Hum Deva Teme Chadai Mozon Jene Dondage Selen Dedena Gombo Jere Zeke Lanaro Deva Jende Kevar Sindhyo Om Mani Padme Hum Mani Jebe Jinda Tenjin Dai Meje Zombe Jinda Omona Gombo Jere From Asia going to night, sleeping. So who stay in the east, the western countries. See you afternoon. We have continued 2 o'clock and going to do the Sancho ritual prayers. Thank you, everyone. So see you next week and see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Kempola.
Thank you, Kempola.
Thank you, Genla.
Thank you. 感恩上师。
Thank you very much.